What is up, people? I've been away for a little bit, been a little busy. Um, just haven't been playing too many games lately. Just been working with all of what's going on in the world. Uh, but I don't want to get too serious. So I'm here to discuss The Last of Us Part Two. Um, Personally, haven't played the game. I did watch a 12-hour stream of the game. So I have enough information to be able to, come to a conclusion on exactly why The Last of Us Part 2 is really not a 10 out of 10 game, um, but it also is a terrible sequel. Okay? So, first things first, spoilers. It's going to be a little bit of spoilers, not too much. I'm not going to spoil too much of the story, but spoilers basically going to be around everything that's already been leaked, because everything that's already been leaked kind of just tells you exactly what's going to happen. This is narrative that you should play the game first before you come to a conclusion, but it seems to be that specifically exactly what the spoilers were saying is what's going to happen in the game. Um, so I used the term sequel earlier because it's a part two to another story, and the story that was started in part one. So, as a sequel itself, it's not really a good continuation, um, and it's not even like the time lapse that you went from a young Ellie to an adult Ellie now. It's not even that. It's literally stepping on everything that came before it. Every bit of storytelling, every character building moments is literally taking that and stepping on it. And Abby is not. No, no to Abby. I feel like Abby is a character they created to pander to the LGBTQ community, which is fine. But if you're really trying to represent this community in a positive way, wouldn't you just create a character that comes along the protagonist um, and assist them or something of that nature? Why would you make them completely, the opposite? Um, and I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, it's terrible. Joel's dies in the beginning. Terrible. So the marketing in itself is a lie, because it make it seem like you can play with Joel within this new Last of Us Part Two universe. When in actuality, the only gameplay you play with Joel is flashbacks, and those flashbacks make you hate Abby even more, because those flashbacks built on what's already been established in Last of Us Part One. They showcase the growth of Ellie and Joel, whereas Abby doesn't get anything like that. The When you start to play as her, she's just this overly. It's like she becomes like the Hulk, you know, compared to Ellie's Bruce Banner. She's just overly strong. She can do weird things that just doesn't make any sense. Whereas Ellie struggles against these infected, she can just come in and just it's terrible. It's not a good game. It's not a good sequel. It doesn't represent The Last of Us Part One at all, um, and it gives you glimpse of what could be, and then takes it away from you, and it makes the overall package that's so much like worse, because they know what you want from this game, and it just give you a little bit of it, just a little bit to get your foot wet, but then all of a sudden they close the pool and tell you can't jump in. So it's really not good. Gameplay. It's okay. It's not innovative. Um, everybody's talking about, well, they're giving the game a 10 out of 10 because it's pushing the narrative. It's this, it's artistic thing, and you know we haven't had games like this before. Yeah, we had The Last of Us Part 1. Okay, it's not pushing anything. It's just making an open world, not this dodging mechanics, which a lot of games have. It's not this great artistic thing. um, and there's also the narrative of violence is bad, while making sure you have to use violence in this game to be able to get to the next level. Literally, there are parts where you have to kill the dogs, whether you want to or not. And if you decide, what, I'm going to, because I did see Upper Echelon trying to avoid killing the dog. That took a long ass time, a lot of effort, and even still, he almost got caught because the the um the AI are programmed to stay in specific positions and only go, as far, as programmed. So you can't distract everybody to be able to hide and get past them. You just can't. All right. So he tried to do that many times. It wasn't working. Only certain AIs would go to like the sound of the bottle, or the sound of the brick, or whatever it is that he threw. And certain ones would only stay within the same area. And if they did get distracted, there was simply, it wouldn't take long before they turn back around. Um, and so you get to the door to get to the next level, and that is taking a long time. So they're actively looking at you, and eventually they do find you, and just in time for you to get in there. So they make it very difficult for you to avoid, violence in this game. Um, so that, like, can you say you're trying to enlighten people to violence and not provide an alternative to that violence? Like, you can't avoid not killing people. This is supposed to be a game about some apocalyptic, and like, human society is not as where it used to be and things of that nature. But we spend more time killing human NPCs than you spend time killing the infected. And that just, I don't know. I don't like that. Um, and there's no real goal to the story other than just Ellie's going after, Abby came and got her revenge, killed Joel. Ellie's going after Abby. It's like, what is the real purpose of this in the entire world? We don't really mention that Ellie is immune until later on in the story, when her mask breaks. Um, and her partner was trying to take the mask off to give it to Ellie, and Ellie's like, I'm infected. As far as 12 hours in, that's all that's all they've mentioned on the fact that Ellie infected. While in the first game, that was the main story point. She was trying to get to the Firefly. They were going to develop this vaccine to cure people. All of that's been gone. All of that's been stomped on. It doesn't exist. As far as 12 hours into the game, it just isn't there. Um, so I don't presume it's going to be there. This seems to be just a revenge story. So it's like, why? Why? Um, I don't see any point behind playing this game. I'm not gonna play it. I have no interest in playing it. Um, I don't like the violence. Just for the sake of it, it just seems like you just have to be violent. There's just too much going on, which it isn't a bad thing. It's the world in this game is the way it is, and that's fine. People are not thinking straight. They've been in this position for a very long time, where society doesn't seem to be coming back. But you have these little communities that are starting to build up. Ellie and Joel belongs to one, Abby belongs to another, and Abby's Abby's community just looks like an army. Like they have guns and military vehicles and things of that nature. So that just makes it even harder to really, like Abby as a character. But there's this narrative that, people who don't like Abby, they're transphobic and things of that nature. Your gender, your sexual orientation, all of that has no bearing on your character. Abby's character is terrible. It's terrible. You don't spend enough time with her to really get to know her. And the time you do spend with her is after she's already done all of these terrible things to characters you actually care about. That's terrible. This is terrible storytelling. It isn't engaging. In fact, it just makes me, want to turn it off when I see all of these violent scenes and it just repeated over and over and over and over and over. There's no real goal that the player can, get behind and say, oh, this is cool. I can't wait to see what happens at the end of this. We already know what's going to happen at the end of this. They're going to confront each other. It's just going to be a violent thing. But there's no real good thing that's going to happen out of this story that they're telling. It's more like you're watching a filler episode or group of episodes where one of the main characters don't survive it. So it's like one of those stories where you can skip, but if you skip it you wouldn't know what happens to Joel or Ellie. There may be a Last of Us Part 3. I am very skeptical if I'm going to play that too. I don't have any interest in any of what they're trying to say. I don't know. In this violent world where, people are just going crazy and they're killing each other and they're looting and they're destroying things. This isn't a story that is timely for that. And there's just too many things that's going on, and there's too many plot holes. There's too many messages that it's trying to convey, and because of that you can't really buy into any one of them because they don't build it up enough. They don't tell you enough about those messages. They don't get you to to see the perspective they want you to see because they're trying to show you so many different perspectives. There's just too much going on. So this is really not a game I'm going to buy. I'm just going to watch people play it so I know exactly what the story is. And I'll have it playing in the background while I'm doing something else. No, I'm not doing this. I love the first one. And because I love the first one, I cannot love this one. This is not a 10 out of 10 game. It's not a bad game. Like, the graphics is great. I believe there was only one time in the 12 hours of playing that I saw a glitch. And that was because, I guess, I'm not going to spoil it too much. But that was only one time. And, after that, it didn't happen again. So it's really well made. But it's not a 10 out of 10 game because it's not a good sequel. If you're going to rate a game that's a part 2 or, a second or sequel to another game, you also have to rate it on that because it's a sequel. It's supposed to be a continuation of the old story. And because it's not faithful to that, it can't be a 10 out of 10. Just for that reason. If this was something completely different, with completely different characters within the Last of Us universe, okay, I can get into that. I can buy into that. But because this is built off, the last game, and it doesn't continue it in a very satisfactory way for fans of the game, it's not a 10 out of 10. At most, maybe a 6 or a 7. because the gameplay is great, but the story is horrible. There's not much options in this game to really really dive in and immerse yourself in. There's too much violence for you to immerse yourself in, and people like the whole dog killing. There was a lot of people that were saying, "Oh, it's a virtual thing," but it's that kind of thing that makes the world the way it is right now, because people can say Grand Theft Auto is, it's just a virtual game, it's not real and blah blah blah, but that doesn't stop people from taking those activities in the game and bringing it into real life. So if this game, you know forces you to kill animals, um and then at the same time it juxtaposes with Abby, where Abby and her family goes to to save the zebra. So it's like it's trying to forcefully tell you a narrative regardless of what you think or how you feel, um, and I can't buy into that. Great art is something that can be interpreted differently by many different people, but it's still the same art. If you're forcefully trying to tell us that Ellie is this murderous, rampaging person compared to Abby, who's this sweet person that's just trying to do good in the world and blah blah blah, that's not being artistic. That's forcing a narrative. So even that sense, it doesn't work. But I'm gonna stop rambling. This was not this. It's not. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's not a good sequel. Um, I would say just watch other people play it. Watch your favorite YouTubers play it. Your Twitch streamers, watch them play it. But don't spend your money on this game. It's not going to be a satisfactory conclusion like The Last of Us 1 was, where it left you wondering what's next and what amazing story lies beyond this point. It's almost like they should never have made this game in the first place. So with that said, I'm gonna end this video. There's gonna be more stuff coming on the channel. I just have to figure out what I want to do and what I want to play. A lot of the games I've been playing have not really gathered a lot of attention from the people that already watch my videos, so I need to re-examine that. But if you guys want to see anything, let me know. I definitely want to be more engaging. I don't care how many subscribers I've got. I'm more so interested in just having fun with you guys. So definitely let me know what you want to see. Give the video a like, share it, and I appreciate all the love. Thank you very much.